In this section, we are going to see about calculated columns and measures. Both are the individual objects, comes under DAX, meaning like you need to write a DAX in order to create calculated columns and measures. We are not going to deep dive into this DAX right now, but in order to understand what is calculated column and measure, we will cover it now. In the DAX session or chapter, we will see it in deep about the DAX, what are all things you can do. Now, as I said, let's try to understand what is a calculated column is. So a calculated column is a derived column. When you have 5 columns in your table, you need to compute some calculation. Let's say column 1 equal to column 2, whether it's a true or false. Those kind of derivation you will do it in the Excel, right? Similarly, you can able to do it here. And any new calculation you want to create, that is what. It's not a calculations, it is basically another column you are creating. So data is stored in the model. So key important concept over here is you can create a calculated column and data is physically stored in the model. That is the one important aspect of it. Let's try to create one calculated column, then we'll come back and understand about the measure. So we are in Power BI now, where we have some data over here, right? So casual wear, and we have a jeans, Zara and shirt kind of a thing. Let's try to extract last digit from over here, last 2 digit from here, right? So this can be used for some other purposes. So I want to create one new column. How to create it? Click on this table. You can create it from anywhere, even from here. This option is available, new column or new measure. This is what I'm saying about new column or measure is nothing but new column is your calculated column, new measure is your calculations or measures. Okay, so this option is available for you. So let's go here so that you will see the data over here. So I always prefer creating a column in this view so that you can see the data. I will say short product number, right? Then I have a write function. Okay, so certain functions will work for the column and it will go row by row. So product ID and number of occurrence. So it says clearly the text is here, so it will have the text data type. This is what I told about. You cannot have a number data type here and then you put the write function. Okay, that will fail. So these are the very important aspects. That's why I started with the data type in our previous section. So we defined already this product ID as text, so this is fine. Now I need the last 2, right? Last 2 characters, then press OK. Now here also you need to define the data type. So it's already by default it is picking up the data type here. So you understand about this calculated column, right? So let's try to do another example here. Like item amount, I want to multiply this item quantity and item amount, right? So let's try to derive the new calculated column. So now I will say new item amount. It should be basically the sales amount, but let's try to create it over here so that you will understand. So I will just mention item amount, item quantity multiplied by just, it's like item amount. So quantity multiplied by amount, it's just a multiplication. Just press enter. Now most of the items are 1 quantity, so you will not find the difference. Let's try to filter the 2 quantity. So now you can see the difference. Like the item amount is 1100 multiplied by 2, we will get 2200. I hope this is what the calculated columns being created. Let's try to quickly understand about the calculated measure or the measures. So measures basically in DAX is a calculated value that is computed dynamically based on the data in your model and the current filter context. So this is very important aspect of the DAX or the data modeling. So you need to carefully choose when to use the calculated column and when to use the DAX, because calculated column you are physically able to see the results, meaning like you can see the column created and the data is stored in the table. But in the DAX you will not see the value upfront as soon as you create a calculation. Once you use it in the visual, then that value is calculated and displayed. If you are a little bit confused about it, let's try to understand in practical, then you will understand it better. So we just now see about calculated columns. The symbol will be appearing like that, your column with the calculation, right? That means calculated column. Now where you can create the measure. So basically the best practices I'm going to cover at the end of this sections or another session. We will create a dummy table and all the measures will be created there. Okay. For time being, I'm creating the calculations over here. So here, what kind of calculations I want to create? Let's say Power BI by intern, like it creates the implicit measures, meaning like whichever integer column you are having it over here, right? That already having the measure, we call these aggregated value, integer value as measures. This is what a implicit measure, right? In order to create a explicit measure, so let's say new measure, I will say total sales. Total sales, right? Now I will say sum of transaction sales amount. Okay. What happens is, you see the symbol difference. This is the calculated column. The measures is calculations. It's just a calculation. And if you go to this table view and the transactions, this total sales is not appearing here. You can see only till the new column that is created. The store location is the one, and then this is the new column we created, that is a calculated column. But you cannot find this total sales in the table since it is not stored. So where I can see this value? For that, let's try to use some visuals here. Okay. Now I clicked on it. I use product category now, and then this time I'm going to use the implicit measure, right? So I use the sales amount. Now let's take this copy, Control C, click on this chart and click outside, Control V. Okay, just I take an outside. Now instead of this, right, let me get rid of this. Let me put this one, okay, donut chart, and then I put here. Is there any difference here? Meaning like the casual wear also says same amount, that is 4763, and here also it says same amount, because this is called the implicit measure, right? And this is the calculated measure. Both does the same thing at the background. But what is the advantages of creating the calculated measure is like, once you have your calculated measures, it will be neat and clean, and it will be reusability wise, it will be perfect, because you have thousands of columns. I mean, not thousands, maybe let's say 300 400 columns, and you need to categorize it, right? Which is a measure, which is the thing you need to use, and the model you are going to create, that is not only used by you, it will be shared to the many general audience, right? For them to make it easier, you will hide all these columns. Let's say right click and hide it. Okay, you will hide it, it will not be displayed. So you will show them only the measures created. They don't want to know the calculations. This is very simple calculation, right? There can be multiple complex calculations you will want to create. What I want to create right now, there is no option for me in this visual, right, to have only for the Chennai sales. Let's say I have something like store location, state or city, right? State or city. I'm extending this use case, right, to the state or city equal to Chennai. Okay. Now, how I can expand these calculations, right? Let's take, and I'm going to cover deep in the DAX section, but I'm going to explain you how you can expand this measures into different logics. Now I need to have only the total of Chennai, right? Only the data for the Chennai. So calculate, this is the expression, and you can apply the filters here. The filter is in my store location dot state or city equals double quotes Chennai. So now let me enter this. Okay, that measure is already used here, so let's name it as total sales Chennai. Let's try to convert this into a table so that we can able to see the data. Now I will keep the Chennai sales as well. Now you can see in the same category, I'm seeing the total value, also the Chennai value. Now I can compare the difference between the percentages, like this divided by this will give me how much Chennai has contributed to the total sales. Let's try to add percentage contribution. Okay, okay, this is not the whole thing. I mean, I'm just giving you the examples, right? There is a far better way to do it. So I will apply now divide Chennai sales, comma, okay, denominator is total sales. Okay, and you can define this one as percentage. So this is the data types, I'm setting it here, then put it in this table. Now you can see the 31% is contributed by Chennai from my total sales. Okay, so in total also it is 31%. So like this you can able to expand your calculations based on your need. But also remember, these values are not stored anywhere. This is calculated based on this filter context. You see the casual wear, semi-formal, formal. These calculations are splitted automatically. You need to define the formula. What you need to define? I need to calculate the sales for this, right? And then all my for each dimension I can use this dimension and it is filtering. I can use the customer dimension, still it will be filtering, right? You see, female casual wear, it will still filter the data. So I didn't do anything else, just I defined the formula, but based on the different filter context the data changes. Okay, this is the beauty of your DAX. I hope you get the idea about the DAX, what it is capable of. In the DAX session we will see deeper again.